Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone, depending on where you have joined from. My name is Patty, and I will be your host today. First, I want to thank all of you for registering and taking the time to join us today for this webinar on rapid app development and automation through PowerApps and Power Automate. But before I begin, I have a few housekeeping announcements. At any time during the webinar, please feel free to ask questions by typing them into the questions or chat window on your screen. Questions will be answered at the end of the session. Following the webinar, the recording will be available and shared with all attendees. If you experience any technical issues, please visit the Help menu in the GoToWebinar control panel on the right side of your screen. And lastly, I've placed all of you on mute to prevent any background noise. And now a bit about the company. To provide a quick background on AppsTech, we provide customized IT consulting services for companies ranging from mid-size to Fortune 100 enterprises across a wide range of industry verticals. Leveraging agile practices, AppsTech SMEs, subject matter experts, architects, and associates build software applications, platforms, and products that become primary drivers of innovation and revenue growth for our clients and their businesses. AppsTech is recognized for driving quality and speed to market when business success depends on the software applications. Founded in 2007, AppsTech is headquartered in Addison, Texas, with offices in the USA, Middle East, and Hyderabad, India. Agility is the game changer for all businesses, and to achieve agility, organizations invest in creating various custom applications that require resources for development and, more importantly, substantial time to get the job done. Microsoft Power Apps seems to be the answer to such situations. Power Apps enables professionals to create high-performance custom applications without writing a single line of code or low code, thereby significantly saving time and reducing costs. Microsoft Power Automate, formerly known as Microsoft Flow, is like a foundation of your Power Apps. It is the engine that runs behind screens and buttons, ensuring that the app functions properly. While the app helps you to view or edit your data, the flow tells your app what needs to be done. Our webinar mainly focuses on the convenience of using these tools, business benefits, future for low code, no code, and automation adoption. And there will be key takeaways: overview of Power Apps and Power Automate, data sources and connectors, how Power Apps and Power Automate help organizations in generating a significant ROI, industry use cases, and a quick demo of the tools in action. And now I would like to introduce today's presenter, my colleague Rajesh. Rajesh is a highly experienced SharePoint specialist and Microsoft certified Power Platform developer. He has been helping clients make efficient use of SharePoint, Power Apps, and Power Automate, and successfully delivered projects including implementation of SharePoint intranets, SharePoint content migrations, business process automation workflows, Power Apps, custom web parts, and integrations. So I will now hand it over to Rajesh. Rajesh, the stage is now yours.
Well, thanks, Patty. So hi, everyone. And I know you're all looking forward to this webinar. So without any further ado, let's get into our topic today, which is the rapid app development and automation through Power Apps and Power Automate. So before we look at today's agenda, I thought it would be interesting to have a look at the low-code market today and to get an understanding of why this topic of low-code has become important now more than ever. So the Wall Street Journal says that low-code will become a high priority as the demand for automation has been seeing a rising trend, and it also predicts a 70% rise in its usage by 2025. According to Gartner, the worldwide low-code development technologies market has reached to a total of $13.8 billion in 2021. which is an increase of 22.6% compared to 2020. And also, according to Forrester research, it is expected to reach a total of $21 billion in 2022. So the surge in remote development during the COVID-19 pandemic has continued to boost this low-code adoption despite ongoing cost optimization efforts. So low-code as a general social and this technological movement is expected to continue growing significantly. For example, low-code application platforms are expected to remain the largest component of the low-code technology market through 2022 and are expected to reach a market value of $46.4 billion, according to another research agency. So we can also notice on the image here on the right, where Microsoft has been placed as one of the leaders in the low-code application platform by Gartner, which conducted the survey in August 2021. So having seen these stats, let's move to the agenda now. So this will be our agenda for the webinar today. So first, we'll see what is the need for the companies to adopt low-code. Then we'll want to know what Microsoft Power Apps and Power Automate are, the types of Power Apps and Power Automate, their benefits, and 2 industry use cases of these tools, followed by a quick demo. Then we'll be taking any questions in the end. So let's move to the next section of our webinar. So why low-code? Before we dive into what Power Apps and Power Automate are, let's see what low-code is and why it has become popular now. So what is low-code development? Low-code development is a general term that includes the process development solutions, low-code application development, and software development tools. And why has low-code become important now more than ever? So over the last 20 years, variety of tools and technologies are available to the organizations have skyrocketed. So as a result, IT departments are no longer managing similar stacks, but maintain a very diverse and complex environments. And as those environments have evolved, and so too has IT. Now, for example, 20 years ago, if an ETL process was needed to move data to Cognos, someone could use a script to do that. But today, relying on custom scripts no longer matches the speed and agility that the businesses require. Also, there's a scarcity of developers who have experience in each tool involved in any given end-to-end process, which has also become a hindrance to the cross-platform process. But luckily, we have low-code development platforms, which enable IT to quickly assemble new process and build applications without having to research, write, or test new scripts. So with the right low-code tool, any IT team member or a citizen developer in general can develop reliable cross-platform business process and also accelerate application delivery. So that's a brief background of the low-code and its relevance to our webinar. Now let's see what Power Apps and Power Automate are. So as you can see from the image here, Power Apps and Power Automate are a part of the Microsoft Power Platform. So which also consists of Power BI, which is an enterprise data analysis and reporting tool, Power Virtual Agents, which are used to build intelligent chatbots for engaging conversations. And along with these, there are a few other components that you see here, like the AI Builder, which is a platform capability that provides AI models that are designated to optimize your business process, Dataverse, which lets you securely store and manage data that's used by business applications, and the Data Connector, which is like a wrapper around an API and allows the underlying service to talk to the Microsoft Power Automate and Power Apps. So these are all available across the above suite of tools. So what is Power Apps? Power Apps is a suite of tools, apps, services, and connectors, as well as a data platform, which provides a rapid development environment to build custom applications for your business needs. So using Power Apps, you can quickly build custom business apps that connect to your data, stored either in the underlying data platform, such as the Microsoft Dataverse, or in various online and on-premises data sources, such as SharePoint, Microsoft 365, SQL Server, and so on. So apps built using Power Apps provide rich business logic and workflow capabilities to transform your manual business operations into designed, streamlined process. So this is where the Power Automate comes into picture to provide the logic and workflow capabilities. Now, what is Power Automate? It is a workflow automation application that streamlines the creation of everything from simple push notifications to complex business process with defined steps and stages. So it's a trigger-based system that allows employees or citizen developers to create and automate workflows and various tasks across multiple applications and services without the help from any developers. So some of the examples where Power Automate may be used are, let's say to automate any business process, to send automatic reminders for any past due tasks, to move data between systems on a schedule, to connect to more than 500 data sources or any publicly available API, or to even automate tasks on your local computer, like performing data operations in Excel. So now that we know what Power Apps and Power Automate are, let's see the different types of Power Apps and the different types of Power Automate flows. So firstly, let's see the types of Power Apps we can build and the scenarios where each of these types can be used. So the first and the popular type is the Canvas apps, as you can see. So as the name suggests, Canvas app is a custom app which starts from a blank canvas, where a user can just drag and drop various components into a flow style formation. So more often, Canvas apps are highly tailored applications used to optimize the tasks. So Canvas apps allow users to build business apps from Canvas in Microsoft Power Apps with little to no code. So you can build apps that integrate business data from a wide variety of Microsoft and any other third-party sources. You can automatically generate an app from several Microsoft sources, including and which are not limited to a sample app or a template or Dataverse or an Excel or from Microsoft SharePoint. So the key features of the Canvas apps are that they are built in the Power Apps Studio tool, and they can run on mobile devices, laptops, computers, and within any other apps such as Microsoft Teams or Dynamics 365. They can also connect to one or more data sources. And they only require low-code development, like we already know with Excel-like expressions. So these types of apps can be used in scenarios where, for example, the app needs to connect to multiple data sources or to design a visually aesthetic app with some custom branding. So you have the full control over all over the features here. Now let's move on to the next type of Power Apps, which is the model-driven app. So as the name suggests, the component-focused approach is the main crux of this app development model. So it includes the primary element of Power Apps, which is a no-code solution, where you can build an app with varying levels of complexities. It is an option to consider when you want the app to have rich business logic running in the backend. So when you use these model-driven apps, much of the layout is predefined and primarily designated by the components that you add to the app. So if most of your organization's data is within the Dataverse tables, then using a model-driven app will speed up your development process considerably. And it also limits the need to spend significant energy on the UI. So now coming to the benefits of the model-driven app. It is a rich component-focused, no-code design environment. It allows you to create responsive apps when the UI will be the same for both desktop and mobile. It has a powerful design capability. You can also distribute your app as a solution. So some common examples of these model-driven applications can be the CRM systems, the customer relationship management, the human resource information systems, or the inventory management systems, or like employee onboarding systems. So now let's move to the last type of Power Apps, which is the Power Apps portals. So these are external facing websites that allow users outside their organizations to sign in with wide variety of identities. Also to create and view data in Microsoft Dataverse. So the users even browse the portal content anonymously. They can even browse it anonymously. So the portals are like an extension of the full capabilities of the Dynamics 365 portals, which were previously offered only as an add-on to the customer engagement apps, like the sales apps, Dynamics 365 series. So PowerApps portals are mostly used for two main reasons. The first reason to use PowerApps portals is when you wish to create a public-facing website that anonymous or authorized individuals may visit. The second purpose to use these portals, is to provide an integrated experience with other Microsoft technologies, such as embedding a Power BI dashboard and reporting to your website. Also, when a user submits a form on your website, a workflow is triggered to track the solution usage using application insights. So now it's time to dive into the types of Power Automate flows. So as you can see here, broadly, there are three types of Power Automate flows, which are cloud flows, desktop flows, and business process flows. So let's understand what cloud flows are and their usage. You create a cloud flow when you want your automation to be triggered either automatically, instantly, or via a schedule. So depending on the type of the need, these cloud flows are further categorized into automated flows, instant flows, and scheduled flows. So let us go through one by one. So what are automated flows? So as the name suggests, these flows are used to create an automation that is triggered by an event. For example, arrival of an email from a specific person or a mention of your company in the social media can trigger an action to send a text message or an email to the concerned department. So the target for these flows can be data connectors for cloud or on-premises services, where you connect with your accounts and enable them to communicate with each other. And coming to instant flows, here also, like the name suggests, these flows are used to start an automation with the click of a button. So you can automate for repetitive tasks from your desktop or from your mobile devices. For example, you can instantly send a reminder to the team with a push of a button from your mobile device. So the target for these flows can be a wide range of tasks, such as requesting an approval or an action in Teams or either in SharePoint. So let's see the final cloud type, which is the scheduled flows. Again, as you might have guessed from the name, this flow is used to schedule an automation, such as daily data upload to SharePoint or another database. For example, you can use these flows to remind your employees to submit their timesheets by the Friday of every week, if not submitted already. So the target for these flows can be the tasks that need to be automated on a schedule. Now, let's get into our main type of the Power Automate flows, which is the desktop flows. These flows are used to automate tasks on the web or the desktop. So using Power Automate for desktop, you can automate tasks on the desktop as well as the web. There are also two alternate legacy methods of creating these desktops, which are the Windows Recorder V1 and the Selenium IDE. So these desktop flows now have a powerful and very popular capability known as robotic process automation, or RPA. So for example, using desktop flows, you can simply record the steps that you perform for updating a row of your Excel worksheet with the required data from another document, and then simply run the desktop flow to perform the same steps in updating the other rows of your workbook. So this frees your team from repetitive, time-consuming tasks with easy to use low-code automation so that they can focus on more important work. The RPA can even have two modes, which are attended and unattended modes, which you can specify in your flow. So with the unattended mode, your employees can work on other important tasks while the process runs in the background. So moving on to the final type of the Power Automate flows, which are business process flows. So these flows provide a guide for the users to get the work done. They provide a streamlined user experience that guides users throughout the process to advance into the next stage and ultimately to some conclusion of some kind, like based on predefined organization's business logic. The user experience can be tailored to suit to the people with different kinds of security roles, with a respective experience according to the work they do. So the business process flows can only be used with Microsoft Dataverse as the data source. And that is the reason why these are often used in combination with PowerApps model-driven apps. Now, now that we have seen all the types of PowerApps and Power Automate flows, let's see what are the benefits of using PowerApps and Automate. So the first benefit of using PowerApps and Automate is that it reduces IT backlog and it enables quick response to business needs. So what I mean by that is, IT teams can quickly respond to any request by developing applications with PowerApps. The high productivity low-code development platform equips your IT professionals or citizen developers with tools to rapidly build innovative web and mobile applications that meet the unique evolving needs of your business. So in addition, the enterprise grade security and built-in governance in Power Apps accelerates your organization-wide adoption without creating compliance or security concerns. And by this, the productivity increases, while the app development pipeline decreases. So let me give you an example of this benefit. By using Microsoft Power Apps, a facility team of a professional services industry in Italy has created an app to replace its slow, manual, and sometimes inaccurate approach to maintaining the daily needs of their facilities throughout Italy. So the app was specifically designed to make tasks more efficient and paper-free, where the PDF files would be generated and mailed out to their facilities heads upon inspection, which was made possible using Power Automate. Their IT team was now able to focus on other technology needs of their organization. So the facility team now continues to maximize its use of technology and automation, making aggressive plans for their near future. So this is one of the benefits of using Power Apps and Automate. Let's move to the next benefit. So this is to how it empowers teams to solve challenges. So let's see. Streamlining this business process now no longer is with the IT department. So with Power Apps, all the teams and citizen developers get a chance for app development, and thus it empowers everyone to create their own solutions quickly. So this means that almost anyone in your business can start using Power Apps to begin exploring how this low code or no code app development can solve their business challenges. So by empowering your employees to solve their own problems, IT teams are freed up to focus on more strategic organizational initiatives. So even our previous example of the professional services client, that proves this point, that all the teams can now be developers. Let's move on to the next benefit. So according to a research, demand for enterprise app development services is growing 5 times faster than the internal IT organization's capacity to deliver them. So organizations have limited resources to spend on applications, especially with these costly traditional development methods. So even when there is a clear ROI generation opportunity, it might not rise to the level of urgency. So if you can make the app development process cheaper, faster, and less labor intensive, many more such scenarios become feasible. So when app development becomes much more efficient, even seemingly non-urgent use cases can become worthwhile and they can become extremely valuable. So this is where Power Apps and Automate come to the rescue. While Power Apps enables you to build apps fast with a large selection of templates, real-time connections to business data, and easy to use configure logic, like using Excel-like expressions, Power Automate complements it with wide range of flows like cloud, desktop, and business process flows, which you have seen earlier. So according to the Forrester Total Economic Impact Study, the organizations that adopt both technologies can realize an ROI of 362% and reduce their development cost by 70%, increase business process efficiency by 15%, and they can recover their investment in only 3 months. So having seen these benefits, let's move on to the next benefit. So by now, we all know that both Power Apps and Power Automate are designed to work closely with the core apps that you already use. So you can easily increase productivity by automating routine, time-consuming business process into streamlined workflows. So businesses can use Power Automate to digitize any paper-based process and to reduce the need for manual data entry. So let me give you an example of how you could easily create an expense reporting application from scratch without any development experience. So using PowerApps, you would create a simple app that allows your employee to create and submit an expense report. And then you can use Power Automate to trigger an email to their appropriate manager for approval. So the manager would be notified to approve, reject, or ask for more information. So any of those responses again would trigger another email through Power Automate to notify this employee of the expense report status. So this low-code application could be built with no coding experience at all. So this is how you could easily automate the daily tasks without any professional development knowledge in a very less time. So moving on to the next benefit now, work across different platforms. So most workers want to use applications anywhere on any device. So in our case, for example, we use some applications like Outlook, Gmail, or Amazon, let's say, daily on like multiple devices like laptops, tablets, and even mobile phones. So this gives us more flexibility to use that application. And also, though using these apps on multiple devices looks convenient, building these types of multi-device cross-platform experiences from scratch can be a challenge. But if you can translate your business process into engaging web and mobile experiences, and at the same time letting users to access information the way they want, you'll be able to drive both adoption and value. So with Power Apps, you can build both web and mobile apps fast using just like a point and click approach to design. You can then easily publish those apps to either web, iOS, Android, or Windows 10 and now Windows 11 too. So Microsoft Power Apps is designed to be able to deeply integrate with Power BI, Office 365, or Dynamics 365. So recent developments are also being made by Microsoft to even publish the Power Apps as independent app on the mobile platforms, as opposed to being a part of the Power Apps mobile app, which is the case for some time now. And moving to the next benefit, maintaining security and control. You all know that the data security is the #1 priority for any organization, and that too in this current world of data hacks or denial of service attacks, phishing, etc. So Microsoft has therefore put a strict security in place for all the data being used by Power Apps and Power Automate. So the solutions that you create in Power Apps are secure because they exist within the compliant Microsoft environment. So your Power Apps business data is stored either in Dataverse, which is the Microsoft's data platform, or in other online and on-premises data sources, such as SharePoint, Office 365, or a SQL Server. Also, the user identities are managed through Azure Active Directory using a role-based security model, making it very easy to control user access to databases. So environments can also be created to setting up boundaries for different security needs. So this also makes it easy to ensure compliance by grouping any apps with similar security requirements. And within Azure Active Directory, you have the capability to access full audit logs, usage analytics, data loss prevention, and also security and data management. Another good thing is that Azure Active Directory provides the option of single sign-on to thousands of SaaS applications, which include Power Apps, of course, Automate, Power BI, and SharePoint, etc. So all these security measures will assure organizations of the data security and control. So now it's time to look at the final benefit of using Power Apps and Automate, which is managing technology debt. So the severity of technology debt problem can be understood by an independent survey where 70% of the C-level executives felt that technology debt reduces their ability to innovate. So companies are in a situation to make the most out of the technology they have, at the same time reducing the complexity of managing existing systems, and some of which have become legacy applications also now. So companies are constantly thinking about these legacy applications and how IT leaders face almost constant situations of trade-offs between maintenance and new code development. So Power Apps and Automate can simplify this application creation and data connections so that your organizations can make these choices easier. And also simultaneously, companies can extract new value from core systems while retiring complex custom apps in favor of these documented, standard-based integrated apps like these tools, Power Apps and Power Automate. So this brings us to the end of the benefits of Power Automate and Power Apps. So let's just see the summary of all the benefits that we have learned. So this is a brief summary of the benefits that we just saw. So using these both tools, it reduces IT backlog and it enables quick response to business needs. It empowers teams to solve various challenges. It enables the team to do more within budget, time, and resource constraints. It helps automate time-consuming and manual business process. It makes working across multiple platforms easier. It maintains strict security and control over the app data, and it manages technology debt in the organization. Now, let me bring before you the use cases of both these tools using two examples, which we'll see next. So this use case, which you see now, it's related to the telecom industry, where we will see how a company which is one of the largest wireless carriers in the US has employed Power Apps and Automate to simplify and automate their business process. So with low-code development using Power Platform, then employees from all different backgrounds, from computer science experts to coding novices, so now develop solutions themselves that help the company with everything from device promotion approvals to store closure management in response to COVID-19. So they built a store closure app using Power Apps Canvas app model with all controls. The success of this store closure app led the company to develop two more apps related to COVID-19, an employee roster app for managing staffing at the stores, and a self-screening wellness app that the employees use as a part of screening process to check whether they can safely work at the stores and also to see that are still open. So they continue to update the apps with new functionality now. For example, the employees now also use the store closure app to easily handle the inventory replenishment and stop deliveries or reroute them to the other stores. This company now has a thriving internal Microsoft Power Platform community and is creating a center of excellence to promote further low-code development. So this is how this industry has adopted Power Platform and have been taking advantage of that. Now let's move to the next use case. So this use case, which you see now, it's related to the automobile industry. So where we'll see how this company, which is one of the largest automobile manufacturers in the world, has employed Power Apps and Automate to simplify and automate their business process. So at this company, very wide range of employees use Microsoft Power Platform, which composes of Power Apps, Power Automate, and also includes Power Virtual Agents and Power BI to solve their business problems that range from ensuring safety compliance to managing travel during the COVID-19 period. So all their employees, including professional and non-professional developers or the citizen developers, have created more than 400 apps that are used throughout the company. So some apps are long-term solutions, while others are just custom developed to solve time-sensitive issues, which includes the company's response to COVID-19. So these include a questionnaire app that tracks whether someone isn't feeling well, and another app that monitors the ongoing status of an employee who has potentially been exposed to COVID-19. They've also created more than 90 Power BI dashboards related to COVID-19, which is a huge number. The company has even created a Center of Excellence, which is designed to encourage, facilitate, and manage the Microsoft Power Platform use and development. This center also offers classes, question and answer sessions, and individual training on how to make the best use of the Power Platform in different ways. Maybe whether it's optimizing work with Power BI or building the next great app with the Power Apps. And according to one of their executives, they were able to go from surveying 5% of their dealers to surveying 100% of the dealers using these Power Apps, which is a tremendous productivity gain. So the two examples that you have seen earlier, they help us understand how an organization can adopt Power Platform in general and also simplify and automate their business process. Now it's demo time. Let me give you a quick demo of the tool using an example Power App that I built. Let me open the tab. So app that you see now, this is a Power App, which is a Canvas app type that I've just built to just give you a demo of the tool. So as the name suggests, this is an invoice processor app. What that means is, like companies get a lot of invoices from different vendors. So they could use this app either on the tablet or their mobile. And then, they can just submit that invoice manually using the camera feature, or if they're using a system or a tablet, they could just upload the invoice PDF or the image here. So let me show you. So if I click on submit invoice, so this is the screen where they are taken to. So they have different fields here, as you can see, like the vendor, invoice date, invoice number, vendor address, customer name, total dues, subtotal, tax amount, etc. And also there's a table which populates upon uploading this invoice here by reading it. So this Power Apps, I've used a capability called AI Builder, which we have seen earlier, which is a part of Power Platform. So I've used that capability along with Power Apps, and also in this button, I've used Power Automate as well, which triggers a workflow to the manager when an invoice is uploaded to via this Power Apps. So I'll also show you the backend once this is uploaded. Let me open that invoice samples. Let me just open a test. So you can either upload an image here or a PDF. So let me upload an image first. So as you can see here, the image of an invoice is being uploaded, and the AI builder, the model here that I've created, is analyzing that image, and it has extracted information by analyzing it using the AI builder feature here, the Power Apps. So the Power Apps was able to capture the information that was extracted. So the vendor name here is Appstec. The invoice date here is read as 227, invoice number, vendor address, customer name, subtotal, tax amount, everything, all the details are read from this image. And here a product table has been formed using, extracting information from here, like the training services, the cost, quantity, and the total amount. So here we got all the information that we needed. So the point that I want to stress here is that, as you can see here, right? So there was no need of any manual entry here. Just the model, which was trained earlier, just took the information from this invoice and this auto-populated the form here. And when I click on save invoice, this information that's captured is uploaded into a backend SharePoint list here, which is my data source, which is the data source here. So I've used the SharePoint connector. So if I click on save invoice, what it does is, there's a backend list called invoice data that I've created earlier. So it stores all this data in this backend list. As you can see here, it was empty before, and now it has populated the data from that Power Apps form with the invoice number, the purchase order number, date, the vendor, customer name, and all the fields here. And we also have a column called manager approval here, which by default is pending because the manager hasn't taken any action on it. So simultaneously, a flow is also triggered when a new item is created in this backend list. So what it does is it sends this, it notifies your manager that an invoice is uploaded and is awaiting his or her approval. So if I go to my email here and see, so there should be an email that would be incoming now. If let me go, so this is the backend flow that I've created for that. Let me see if my flow has started yet. I don't see the flow starting here. It should list the flow. Let me give it some time. It generally takes like a minute or so. Yeah, so now I can see that a flow has been started and it's running. So if I click on it, I can even see at what stage my flow is. An item has been created here in the SharePoint list that I've shown you before. So now it's already done. It's showing this green check. So that means it's done. So now it's in the approval stage and it's waiting for the approval that's notified using this orange pie circle here. So now I might have received an email. So here I can see that email. Yeah. So it says, the subject is fully customizable, but it is just left as default for now. It's saying, please review AppStack as this is taken from the vendor name. So it's just saying AppStack. So here it says, AppStack, and it is my, I've requested by, it also shows the date created, and it even has a link to that item invoice. So if I want to see the invoice data, I can just click on it and it should open a list item pertaining to that invoice request. So here, when I open it, it shows the vendor name, invoice date, all the data that has been read by the PowerApps. So the advantage here is, you can just simply be in your Outlook and you can approve or reject from the email itself, not going to, navigating to some other application. So let's say I want to approve it. So I just click on this approve here and I can even enter any comments for it. So let's say approved 323. Click on submit. So now it's working on it. Let me go to my flow. So this should be changed to green check mark saying that this stage has been done. And now I have a condition where, I have two conditions: if a manager approves it or denies it, rejects it. So since it's yes, which means it's approved, it's going into this block and it informs the creator of approval, which means I will be receiving another email because I'm the originator of that form. So I receive an email that it has been approved, and then the update item to approved. So the backend SharePoint list status is now changed to approved, as you can see here. So this is all just with the click of a button. Previously the process of approval was, usually you send the email to manager with that attachment and all the details, and then back and forth emails run between you and the manager for approval, and then so imagine how much time it could save with all these requests. So this kind of functionality can even be used by employees for submitting the reimbursement requests. If they have any bill or something, they can just upload using that PowerApps here. Here, they can just click on submit, and then they can upload this either using a camera feature of their phone, or if they have an image already, they can upload it, and then you can have a model trained to just read that data and populate your fields here, and then rest is all done by Power Automate, the approval process and everything. So that's how you can make use of PowerApps and Power Automate, in your organization. So that was a quick demo. Let me. Yeah, so that was a quick demo of the tools. So which involved, PowerApps, Power Automate, and of course, there was an additional feature called AI Builder involved, because I just wanted to show you how these apps can be useful in real life scenarios as well. And of course, that's Power Automate workflows also involved. So that's a quick demo of the tools. Yeah, and this is our global presence. And if you have any questions, I'll be taking it now. Also, just forgot to inform you, that app, as you might see, it has a lot of powerful capabilities, but it has only taken me like, around 30 minutes to create that app. So you can imagine how fast the development can be for all the apps that you want to build. So once you're, just familiar with some of the, expressions like you have for Excel, you could do wonders using these apps.
We have a few more minutes, if you will, to address any questions, any concerns, or points that you'd like to have further clarification on, and Rajesh will handle them professionally. Thank you.
So we have a question from Shivam saying, how is the application security handled in this platform? So Shivam, like I mentioned in one of the benefits of PowerApps, right? So this security, application security is completely taken care by Microsoft. Since these are built on top of Microsoft Azure, so the security is taken care using the Azure Active Directory. I mean, not directly, but using some permission settings in the Power App platform itself. So you have some permissions like App Maker, or just the general user, just the reader of that app. So those kind of permissions are possible in Power Platform. So in the Power Apps, sorry. So that's how you can take care of the security there. Thanks, Christy. So thanks for the compliment. So we'll be providing a recording once this session ends. So you'll be receiving an email with the recording. Thank you. Thanks, Daisy, for your comment. So we'll also try to come up with more webinars which are related to low-code development or maybe more specific to the 3 different types of Power Apps with some more quick demos, so that it will be more clear.
Okay, it doesn't appear to be any more questions coming along the way. Am I correct, Rajesh?
Yes, looks like it, Patty. I just got a question. So
Okay.
Ravi says, can this scale with large user base? Can we implement some customized solutions? Yes, definitely, Ravi, but it depends on the type of licensing that you have with the Power Apps. There are 3 types of models currently with Power Apps. Per user license or per app license, or now they've recently introduced a pay-as-you-go license as well. So if you have a Azure subscription, so you can take use of that pay-as-you-go subscription as well. So with that, you could scale it to large user base also, with lower cost. And also, yes, you could implement many customized solutions, mostly with since you can use mostly canvas apps, because you have full control over all the features like the branding or the functionality, or you could connect to 1 or more data sources using canvas apps. So you could definitely use that to customize solutions. And if there's also use beyond that given customization, you could even implement this Power Component framework, which is some like advanced scenario of the Power Apps. So you could introduce your own code there and try to extend the given solutions from Microsoft. So it looks like we don't have any more questions, Patty. So if you want to close it.
Absolutely. That is all of the time that we have today, but please do remember that if there are any questions that we didn't get to, or questions that you might not have thought to ask at the time, we will share the answers along with the recording of this webinar. In addition, you may also email us at any time at info@appstechcorp.com, and that's info@appstechcorp.com. And in conclusion, I would like to thank everyone again for joining us for today's webinar, and I wish you all a great day ahead. Thank you.